Everybody, what's up? Today we will be back with another portfolio update. So I know I just did one of these probably 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, but this is for the dividend portfolio that I have that it's a new venture for me to try to make some passive income, I guess, if you want to call it that. But be more focusing on that. So going to that, and then I'm also going to go into the slight market drop over the past few days that has definitely affected a lot of my stocks, and I'll kind of go through some charts and just show what I'm seeing. So anyway, if you're interested, make sure to subscribe. I usually do these portfolio update videos like once or twice a week, depending on what happens. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is the data I have so far. The week we're going to be looking at is this one. So for the two high dividend paying funds I have, YMAG paid a total dividend of just under $8, reinvested it into almost half a share. YMAX paid $5, reinvested about a third of a share. So today is the first week that my total equity has actually increased, which is actually I'm trying to think. These would kind of factor into last week a bit because that's when the dividend was collected. However, it was reinvested today, which is all the numbers I am using. So, for example, if I click on, or not that, if I show the share prices here, 1918 and 1727, that is the price that the dividend was reinvested at. So that's basically just how I'm tracking the stock price. So you can see first 2 weeks had a drop of 3.33% and 1.5%. This week I am up 0.75%. And as you can see, one thing I want to point out is that in this time, if I just get out of ad block here and go to the S&P, which I believe these are mainly tracking, and actually I could probably go to QQQ because half of my dividend portfolio is the Magnificent Seven, which I think QQQ tracks a little bit better. You can see that in the time that I've been doing this for the past 4 weeks or so, the market has dropped fairly significantly, two and a quarter, slight increase, slight decrease, and slight decrease. So the market has dropped in that same time. So the returns that I have here overall are affected by that. So what I'm really focusing on is the percent yield per week right here, which is what I'm getting out of the dividends. So despite the equity going down, I am getting more shares. So when the market does kind of start bouncing back a little bit and recovering and whatever, I think I will benefit from that more. And also just thinking like this is less than a month and I've gotten almost $30 in dividends from less than a month, which is pretty solid for anybody. So overall, that's about it for this. So now we'll go into the rest of the portfolio. And actually, I just realized I have that right here. So I reorganized it a little bit so that it would be in order from smallest to largest. However, I don't think that shows the three smallest now, and it doesn't. But I mean, you could see them here, so it's whatever. So overall, you could see, I believe from last week, my mutual fund and the bonds are now more than 50%. That is mostly because CRNC has dropped back down from its super high recently. It's kind of settling. So we are going to go into most of the stocks that I have, starting with Celsius, of course, because that is my largest holding. So Celsius has seen another bounce, and honestly, it is higher than where the last low was. So hopefully, we can kind of hold the support here and see some higher prices soon, which would be really nice. Next up, I believe we have CRNC still. So I told basically everybody this in my last video. I said this exact thing. I said it's going to shoot up, hit the $25 range, which it did, and then drop back down to around 15, which is exactly what it did. People are still freaking out about, oh no, losses and whatever. I sold 15% of my position at 26.80 something and worked out great for me at least. But I don't really care if it drops back down. I really don't, because when I bought this stock, it was at $3 and it sucked. But honestly, two good earnings reports in a row, really three good earnings reports in a row. However, this one had some negative guidance along with it, which caused a big drop. But one more earnings report will probably send this right back up to where it was. I'm almost confident that it'll be solid just because of all the increased interest in this stock. But honestly, I have no worries. I don't really care about the stock dropping back down to 15. I expected it. I said I expected it, so it's whatever. Obviously, it would be great if it held $30 or just under 30, but at the end of the day, I really don't care. It doesn't matter. Long term, it can go anywhere, and it's fine with me. Next up, we are looking at Chewy, which actually is weighted more than CRNC right now, which I didn't realize. So we will look at Chewy, see how they're doing. Chewy has been doing fairly well. Since I bought the stock, it's basically just been in this consistent uptrend. And actually, it's sort of in a rising wedge at the moment, which I believe I talked about in one of my last portfolio update videos. But this wedge could have some issues because if it breaks out the bottom, we're going to have some problems. But right now, it looks like it's perfectly fine the way it is. And just with how low the stock price is compared to the past, I think it will break out upwards. So overall, fairly confident there. Next up, let's go to Lulu and then Dollar General. So Dollar General is actually taking another hit today, but I'll get into that in a moment. So Lulu, I believe, will return to this support line probably right around 330 to 340. It could possibly go flat for a bit, maybe hit 350. But overall, I'm confident in the long-term growth of the company. This is one of my larger companies that I own, and I usually focus on smaller companies just because of the fact that it might not have as much growth potential. But honestly, I'm fairly confident in this. I mean, the earnings reports recently have been really, really good. So no issues here. I'm actually probably going to do another analysis of Lulu soon because I haven't looked at them in a while. But yeah. And then next up, Dollar General, checking out the price here. So I have shown that they are in sort of a falling wedge for many, many months now, practically years actually. And it looks like we're going to hit the bottom of it once again. I'm hoping that this is the last time we hit the bottom of this wedge. Um, it looks like they did just have a price target lowering. However, that price target is at $100, which is 50% higher than where we are now. For I think, yeah, 40% higher roughly. But yeah, so honestly, it's whatever. I bought another share today, which actually I should probably add to this. I'm at 11 shares now. And honestly, I'm just going to keep doing that. Like, it's truthfully, I believe in the company. I interact with the company in my own personal life. So it's whatever to me. I like the company. That's all I really need. And that has worked for me so far in my life. So it's whatever. Snap, PayPal, and then Crocs we will go through. I am just going to go through every stock here because I haven't done like a full, thorough analysis of everything in a little bit. So Snap kind of has two interchangeable support levels that I've been watching. It does look like it's going to head back down to around $10 to $11 from this recent bump. However, it also looks like it's kind of starting a breakout range here. Now, this also could have not breaking out further could have kind of been stopped by the overall market decreasing. But honestly, it probably just needs some more time to consolidate. A lot of people don't like Snapchat stock just because like it's one of the tech companies that hasn't really been booming. And honestly, I just think that it's oversold and has a lot of value. So there is a news thing today, which is just announcing its earnings on February 4th. I will be reviewing the company when that happens because I feel like a lot of people don't believe in the company. And I, for the most part, do. I think they have some things they need to work on, but I will probably do another analysis of them as well fairly soon. But yeah, after Snap, we're going to PayPal and then Crocs. So let's get into that. So PayPal looks very strong. One thing I will say is that it does look like a top is forming right here. So unless they could see another breakout, we might see a return to some lower prices. One thing that could happen is right here, showing this kind of support line. We could see it. Now, honestly, I don't think this will happen, but it could just based on where the last major lows were, hit right around 60 to 65. Um, I really don't see that happening, but it is a possibility. Another possibility is it continues the long term support that it has here, which has been basically over the past 4 months or so, where it'll just bounce off this and head higher. But I think for that to happen, we would have to get to this earnings report. So possibly getting right to that $90 range right here, and then having this earnings report as kind of a catalyst to see where it's going to go after that. That's kind of something that I would expect to happen. We'll have to wait and see. So next, we will look at Crocs. So Crocs is still in the very, very large trading range that they've been in for a while. Now, the last time they hit the bottom of this, we did see this again where they popped back up and then dropped significantly afterwards. So that could happen again here. They could break the support. I don't know. If the support is broken, I honestly might just sell the stock. Um, but I'm not sure yet. Financially, the stock looks fantastic, ton of growth, a lot of potential. But if this support is broken, I feel like the next gap would probably be like 75 ish, possibly 80, 85. But I feel like that's just a bit too much for me. So we'll have to see. But financially, I'm confident on the company. Next up, Robinhood and Super Micro. So let's go into Hood. Robinhood stock has been on an absolute explosion recently. That's kind of a goofy way of putting it, but I bought it right here in this little dip here, and it has been booming ever since. It does look like we are finding kind of a triple top happening here, but overall, I don't expect much to happen with the stock price. Can't imagine it going much lower. Bank of America just raised the price target to $55, which is awesome. Average price target was 47.65 there, so fantastic news for that. It's nice to see kind of the bigger players in the stock market world taking recognition of the stock for once, which honestly, I feel like Robinhood stock got trashed for years and now they're finally making a comeback. So that's pretty nice. Overall, looks good. We are above, I believe we're above the IPO price, which was right around 35 ish, I believe. So we are above it, which is cool. But other than that, we will look at Super Micro now. Super Micro has been on a little bit of a bouncy castle chart recently where they just keep popping up and down over the past 2 or 3 weeks. So popped up a few days ago, 10%, 2 days in a row, basically. And now we are back down, and today we are down too. But overall, I think this support will hold. I think worst case scenario, we head back down to right around 20 to 25. But overall, I think it will be fine. I mean, I'm planning on just buying more if that happens because financially, this stock I think is fantastic. And they've really just kind of had problems that were out of their control, at least in my opinion, that caused their stock price to drop so much. So I think we will be seeing a lot of growth from them, especially in 2025. We'll be seeing a lot out of this company. Next up, we have Hims, which actually I always thought I had a lot more of Hims. I always thought it was like one of my larger companies, but it's really not. And one thing that could be helping that out is they have gone down from their high of right around 34. I do actually, funnily enough, I have a price target here at 23, which I believe I set last time, which is where I wanted to buy if the stock price hit that area again. And it looks like it possibly will go down to around this range once again. I believe the place I originally bought was right around here in October. And I mean, it looks fairly solid. We are still in the uptrend, and I do expect them to have more highs after we hit this support. But overall, it's just another thing where we have to see where they go. So, yeah. And next, we have new Fastly, GMM, and then performance shipping. I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker because I feel like I've been running on here a bit. So new, again, is just in this fib range that I kind of drew up and financially looks good. That's about it. I think the company will continue to go higher. Yeah. Fastly, look at them. So they actually broke the channel that they were in. We could possibly see the stock going lower. I honestly don't know, but I mean, financially, I like them. I think they have a lot of room up, obviously, as we continue to zoom out here. They have a lot of room to go upwards. So, and I mean, you could see now this is just trading view, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positive earnings reports in a row with like beaten estimates. There's got to be some kind of value being built here, and the stock price keeps declining. So, in my opinion, we will see them go back up fairly soon. Next up, GMM. So GMM bottomed out and rose a decent amount from their last earnings report. And now we are seeing them come back down. They're actually down almost 12% today so far. I honestly might buy a little more depending on just what happens here. But I think I should probably look back into it and check out this earnings report. I may do another video on them depending on how much time I have to do it, but we'll have to see. And then finally, PSHG, Performance Shipping, is actually up today despite the market being down and basically everyone else being down. So we did see them bottom out right around that support level that I drew last time. And now they're kind of on a little bit of a rise, but honestly, there is so much I don't even know the word for it, back and forth that's going on in this trading range. But the thing is, this trading range goes from $1.60 all the way up to 250, which is a massive increase. So either way, even if it just stays in this range, there's a lot of money to be made there. So fairly solid. So overall, I think that's it. I covered everything. This is kind of a more complete portfolio review than I normally do. I kind of went through everything, but yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.